Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Joy of Neurodiversity podcast. I'm your host, Joy Buckner, and today we are taking a moment to break down a question that I get all the time. And that question is, wait, what? What's neurodiversity? So let's clear up some confusion and explore why neurodiversity is something that we need to recognize, embrace, and to celebrate. March 17th through the 23rd is Neurodiversity Celebration Week, which means we are right in the thick of the party. So what better time to break down this whole topic? You've probably heard the term neurodiversity floating around, but what does it actually mean, and why is it something that we need to celebrate? As someone who is neurodivergent myself, this is a topic that I care about deeply, and I'm hoping that today that I can break this down in a way that makes it simple, relatable, and understandable. So let's clear up some confusions, break it all down, and just get into neurodiversity. At its core, neurodiversity is the idea that there's no right way for a brain to work. Just like biodiversity in nature, neurodiversity means different kinds of minds exist, and that's a good thing. This term was coined by Judy Singer, a sociologist in the late 1990s. Neurodivergence versus neurotypicality just means that some brains work in a way that society considers typical, while others have unique ways of thinking, learning, and processing information, their emotions, and the world around them. I like to think of the human brain like a computer operating system. Most people's brains run on something like Windows. It's widely used, familiar, designed to work with most systems in society. But then some people's brains are like Mac OS, or even something entirely different like an innovative custom built system. These operating systems aren't wrong, they aren't broken, they just process information differently, run different programs, and sometimes use different tools to operate effectively. The challenge in this is that many of the world's structures, so education, workplaces, communication norms, are built on one type of operating system or with one type of operating system in mind. When a Mac OS user is expected to function like a Windows user or vice versa, there's frustration. So the solution to this is, instead of forcing every brain to run on the same system, we need to build environments that support multiple operating systems that offer flexibility and accommodations and an understanding that there's different ways of thinking and processing. At the end of the day, neurodivergent brains aren't glitches. They're just running a different operating system with its own strengths, its own capabilities, and potential. Neurodivergence is a broad umbrella. It includes conditions like dyslexia, which I have, ADHD, autism, dyspraxia, dysgraphia. But it doesn't stop there. There's many other forms of neurodivergence that don't get talked about as often. Like, for instance, Cri-Du Chat Syndrome, which we explored in episode 1 of the podcast, or Tourette Syndrome, sensory processing disorder, or Obsessive-Compulsive Disorder. These all fall under that umbrella of neurodiversity. Too often, neurodivergence is framed as something that's wrong or it's a deficit. But the truth is, our brains just function differently. Not better, not worse, just differently, and typically in ways that may not always fit into traditional systems. So one might ask, if neurodiversity is just about different ways of thinking, then why does it even matter? Why is it something we need to celebrate? And listen, I can understand why people might feel that way. For too long, Neurodivergence was seen as something to fix rather than something to understand and to embrace. And we want to change that narrative. Normalize celebration over stigma. Different minds bring different perspectives, creativity, problem solving, innovation, and that's all connected to the way that our brains work. And if we're looking at schools, workplaces, just everyday life, being able to recognize neurodiversity helps us create environments where people can thrive and not just survive. So, what can you do? Do what you're doing now. Listen to podcasts, educate yourself, right? We want you to get to a point where you can challenge misconceptions, because at the heart of it all, neurodivergent people don't lack intelligence or ability. Again, our brains just work differently. And we want to make sure that we are creating space for different thinkers. Whether you're a teacher, an employer, a parent, or a friend, understanding neurodiversity makes a difference. We want to celebrate, don't just accommodate. It's not about making room, it's about recognizing the value of all minds. In a nutshell, neurodiversity. It's about embracing the full spectrum of human thinking and making space for all kinds of minds. That's all. So I am going to give you a call to action, a little bit of homework. I am an educator after all. If this episode helped you understand neurodiversity even a little bit better, share what you learned with someone who might need to hear it. And let's be real. We know, all of us know someone who probably needs to hear this. Share it with them. The more we talk about it, the more we create a world where neurodivergent minds are valued and understood, the better off we are going to be. If you are neurodivergent yourself, remember, your brain is not a flaw, it's a gift. I truly believe that neurodiversity is a superpower. And if you are enjoying the Joy of Neurodiversity, please don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe and leave your review. It is the best way to get this information pushed out to the masses. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you love to listen to your podcasts. And let's keep the conversation going. Stay connected with us on our social media for more insights, powerful stories, and conversations from the neurodivergent community, because every mind deserves to be seen and celebrated. With that, happy Neurodiversity Celebration Week. Keep learning, keep embracing differences, and most importantly, keep celebrating the power of the diverse mind. And I will see you in our next episode. Bye. And that's a wrap for this episode of The Joy of Neurodiversity. I hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, empowered, and seen. Remember, neurodiversity isn't something to fix, it's something to celebrate. If you loved this episode, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a review. It truly helps more people find this space of understanding and joy. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And let's keep the conversation going. Connect with me on Instagram at The Joy of Neurodiversity and LinkedIn at Joy Buckner, and share your thoughts using the hashtag The Joy of Neurodiversity. New episodes drop every other Thursday, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next dose of neurospicy brilliance, deep dives, and empowering conversations. Until next time, embrace who you are, celebrate how you think, and keep rewriting the narrative, because the world needs your brilliance. Think big, be bold, and never dim your neurodivergent spark, because we were never meant to fit in.